We are live. We are live. Usyk versus Daniel Dubois 2. It's fight day. It's fight day. It's fight day. All the campaigning is over. All the training is over. It's time to fight. It's time to fight. It's time to fight. We have Usyk, the unified heavyweight champion of the world, versus Dubois, the current IBF heavyweight champion of the world, which was the belt that Usyk was stripped of after the Tyson Fury fight. Okay? We here. I want to know who y'all got. Earlier this week, I did a short, I did a poll. Okay? I also did a video on my breakdown of Usyk Dubois 1. Make sure y'all check that out. But I'm going to be discussing and I'm going to be giving my prediction on who I believe will win the fight. Okay? They're going to be doing it at the Weebly station. They're going to, I think the fight is going to start early. It's going to be early. It's not going to be at night. That's why I'm doing this podcast now. And shout out to Showbiz. He's live right now. Shout out to him. But let's talk about it. We're going to start with Usyk Dubois 1. In the first fight, which was very controversial, Dubois caught Usyk with a controversial low blow. But it was on the belt line. It was on the belt line, which is legal. A lot of people thought that the shot that Usyk, I'm saying Usyk, that Dubois gave Usyk was a low blow. And my argument is, if it was a low blow, why was he breathing heavy? Why? Why was Usyk breathing heavy? If you get hit low, you're going to grab that area. I don't know not one man that gets hit low that doesn't grab that area. No man is breathing like this. You know? No man is breathing like if they get hit down there. I believe that the shot that Dubois hit Usyk with was legal. And I believe that it was a knockout victory for Dubois. Okay? I believe that. Now, I like Usyk. I like Alexander Usyk. Don't get it twisted. I like Usyk. He's a very technical fighter. You know, he moves off the jab. You know, he's moving off angles. You know, he all hits off of different angles. So, you know, I like Usyk. Don't get it twisted. He's a very technical fighter, which is my favorite style of boxing. Okay, my favorite style. Okay. But he should have lost that fight. He should have lost that fight, and I believe that it was politics, okay, that pretty much was on his side. Even though he still won the fight, he was able to get up from the body shot, and he was able to come back. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be very honest with you. Let me see. Shout out to Mora Goes For It. What's up to you, man? I'm going to be honest with you. Usyk is the better fighter. He's the better fighter. Dubois is more of a, you know, stay in the pocket. You know, he's a stay in the pocket fighter. You know, he doesn't move on different angles. You know, he stays in that pocket. Okay. And within him staying in the pocket, he's a sitting duck for angles. Okay. And that's my biggest criticism of Dubois. You know? So I really believe that Dubois is going to win. I think Dubois is going to go to the body. He has to go to the body. And I believe that Dubois should hook the body. He has to be Captain Hook to the body. He has to be. In the first fight, okay, every time he hit Usyk with a body shot, it slowed him down. It slowed him down. Every time. Go back to the fight. You'll see. When he put that knife to the stomach, Usyk would slow down, start bouncing. When he will hook, Usyk will stop and reset. When he will hook, Usyk will stop and reset. He has to go to the body to win. Dubois has to go to the body to win. Okay? You know, he could set it up. You know, he could put the measuring stick and come around. You know, he could come across and come around. And he could do it in the pocket. You know, because that's his style. The worst thing that Dubois can do is adjust too much. All he has to do, in my opinion, is go to the body. No headshots. The only headshots should be the measuring stick or coming off a counter. You know, coming off a counter and a jab to the stomach. He has to go to the body. This is what he has to do to win. This is what he has to do to win. Okay? Now I'm going to go to Usyk. All Usyk has to do, and this brings me to one of my favorite pieces of boxing equipment, which I'm going to be adding to my workout regimen, because I'm a calisthenics guy. The only type of strength training that I'm going to be doing is with the medicine ball. And Usyk, during his training camp, the medicine ball should have been his best friend. And he should have been doing what Jack Johnson did, what Sonny Liston did, getting hit to that body getting hit to the body with the medicine ball. Okay? That's what he should have been doing. Okay? So, that's what he should have been doing. Excuse me, somebody's calling me. I'm going to exit that out. He has to be best friends with the medicine ball. Okay? He has to get used to getting hit to the body. And the thing is, it might not be enough. Because nobody really goes to Usyk's body. Nobody really goes to his body. So, in him not going to Usyk's body, I'm excuse me, I have to reset. I got a phone call that I got to return after this live. But Usyk was not used. A lot of his past opponents didn't really go to the body, and I believe that Dubois was the first person to really go to his body. So I believe that his training camp should have focused on him growing accustomed to body punches so he can kind of get used to them. But it's not going to be the same. It's really not going to be the same. Okay. So what Usyk has to do to win is pretty much be prepared to take body punches. Because that's what put him down in the first fight, believe it or not. That's what put him down. Okay. And that's what I believe, okay, is going to be the deciding factor of this fight. I believe that Dubois has to go to the body. Usyk has to be able to take body punches and still be able to be Usyk. Usyk just has to be Usyk, and Usyk has to be able to absorb body punches. The same way Ali was able to absorb Joe Frazier's body punches with the rope-a-dope. Even though he was blocking them, you're still getting hit. You're not getting hit clean, but you're getting hit. Now I'm gonna look at these comments and see who we got in here. Again, shout out to Morgos for. We got Amanda Bonds. Good day, sir. 90% is what happens to us, and life is 10% is how we react to it. I think you got that wrong. I think life is 10% what happens to us, and 90% how we react. Infinite Iron 9115. What's up to you, Infinite Iron 9? I think he said that twice. What's up, man? Bill Boy. Where I'm at, I am in the park. I'm in a park not too far from our residence. I did my first live in this park on Juneteenth. Make sure you check that out. Yeah, I'm in a park. I'm on a park. It's a nice picnic setup here. That's where I'm at. Okay. And I want to thank everybody that's tuning in. I want to thank the two likes that I have. I want to thank all the comments that I have. Okay. But back to the fight. But I'm gonna give my prediction now on who I believe is gonna win, and I'm gonna go from there. I believe that Dubois is gonna win. I think Dubois is going to put Usyk down with a body shot, or I think that he's gonna knock Usyk down multiple times because he's going to go to that body and tire him out. I believe that Usyk is going to fight to the end. He's going to fight to the end. How you doing, Janet Rouse? Okay. I believe that Usyk going to fight to the end, but I think Dubois is going to win in the end. He's going to put Usyk down one time and it's going to be the end of it, or he's going to put Usyk down multiple times and Usyk is just going to survive. And I believe that Dubois is going to become the first British champion since 1999. Okay. I think Dubois knows that this is his final chance. And I have nothing but respect for Usyk because Usyk didn't have to fight him. Usyk didn't have to fight him. He could have just been content with being a unified champion. He had just beat Tyson Fury. He could have fought somebody else. I don't know if he was a mandatory, but Dubois could have defended the title first before he, fought Usyk. They could have builded it up, you know. Everybody asks me where I'm at. I'm in a park. I'm actually in a park. I'm in a park not too far from my residence. Okay. But I have nothing. I like Usyk. I have nothing against Usyk. Usyk is my guy. He is the guy of the heavyweight division. And I believe that, he's a great fighter. He's a very great fighter. He came from cruiserweight. He beat Anthony Joshua twice. He beat Tyson Fury twice. So he beat Dubois. He was able to come back, and Dubois has to be dangerous in the pocket, but he does have to adjust his style for this fight. But his strength is when he's in the pocket. So I wouldn't change that. I would use it as a strength of staying in the pocket. Okay? So, I just believe that it's Dubois' time and he's going to become the undisputed champion for the first time in his career. And we're going to have a third fight. Okay? Because Usyk won the first one. Okay? Dubois is going to win this one, I believe, and then it's going to be a third one, and that remains to be seen on who I'm going to pick for the third one, because we have to see how this fight goes. Would I be surprised if Usyk won? No, I wouldn't be surprised, because the only adjustment that Usyk has to make is to be best friends with the medicine ball, to be used to grow accustomed to body shots. Okay? Because I'm telling you right now, my prediction is this. I believe, okay, that Dubois is going to come out and go to that body. He's going to be Captain Hook, because he can't afford to take that chance and they do the same thing they did in the first fight. Be Captain Hook, Captain Hook to the body. I believe that's what he has to do. He has to be Captain Hook. And that's just what Dubois has to do. And Usyk just has to be Usyk. It's nothing more that I could really say, because Usyk is a great fighter. Usyk can adjust, but Usyk's Achilles heel is body shots. And if he doesn't take a page out of Sonny Liston book, if he doesn't take a page out of Jack Johnson book, if he doesn't take that page and absorb shots to the body in his training, if he didn't do that, he's in for a rude awakening later on today. He's in for a rude awakening. I believe that if he can weather the storm of Dubois, he's going to win. But, Dubois is hungry. Dubois is very hungry. And Dubois is going to win. He's going to win, and it's going to be a third fight. As y'all know, I'm a boxing buff. I love boxing. Okay? My father was an amateur boxer. My mother is a huge boxing fan. Okay? I love boxing. I did a little bit of training when I was a teenager. Shout out to the rec. Shout out to the rec. Shout out to Victor Wright, who I used to go to the rec with. Okay? But, it's just, Dubois can't afford to let this opportunity pass him by. He can't afford to let this opportunity pass him by. He ran through Anthony Joshua. He beat his other two opponents. He earned the right to fight Usyk for a second time. They didn't just give him this rematch. He went in the ring after Usyk beat Tyson Fury the second time, and he got in his face and he challenged him. And he's a British fighter. From my experience of watching British fighters, mostly all British fighters are pretty good. Frank Bruno, Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank, whose autobiography that I'm reading, and one of his quotes from his autobiography was one of the shorts I did today. Michael Watson, okay? These are the pretty much the kings of British boxing. Lennox Lewis. British fighters are no joke. You know, I've never really heard of a bad British fighter. You know, so so I believe that Usyk also is enjoying being the champion. He's enjoying being at the top of the mountain. He's enjoying being king of the hill. He's enjoying it. You know, and I think he's enjoying it. I think that Dubois is more hungrier. Both of them were in excellent shape. Both of them are ready. But there only can be one winner. There only can be one. So I believe that it's going to be a great fight. I think Usyk is going to come in there and try to fill him out, see what he got to offer. And I think Dubois is going to go straight to the body. I really believe that Dubois is going to go straight to the body. And if he doesn't, it's a terrible mistake. It's a terrible mistake. And I think Usyk is going to establish the jab early, like he did in the first fight, just to fill him out. But I think the body punches of Dubois is going to push Usyk back. And Usyk is going to have to adjust because you could come forward, you put that knife to the stomach, that stop you in your tracks, or that hook to the body, you got to reset just like he did earlier in the first fight. So I just don't see Dubois losing. Now, I could be wrong, and I'm willing to admit if I'm wrong when I do my post Usyk Dubois 2 tomorrow. If I'm wrong, I put both my hands up. I'm wrong. But I believe it when I see it. I'm a show me guy. I believe it when I see it. Until I see something different, until I see otherwise, I'm going with Dubois. And I'm willing to stand on it. I'm willing to stand on it. I believe that Usyk was going to beat Tyson Fury again. I believe that Usyk was going to beat Tyson Fury the first time. I didn't really have a pick for Usyk. Dubois won. Okay. But I believe it's Dubois' time. It is only going to create a third and final fight. Okay. The third and final fight is going to be for all the marbles. And I believe that boxing, is more about business now. I think boxing does not want undisputed, because once you're undisputed, you have leverage. You're what Roy Jones says, you're the king of the hill. If you have all the belts, all roads lead to you. Okay. But if you have multiple champions that have one belt each, you can get more fights out of all those different champions instead of getting maybe one or two fights, maybe 3 fights a year out of that one undisputed person. Boxing is a business. Boxing is a business, and I believe that it's more business oriented now. Whereas though in the 90s when I was growing up, it was more about the best fighting the best. And that's why I have so much respect for Canelo. I have so much respect for Terrence Crawford. I have so much respect for fighters who want to fight the best. Excuse me. I love Floyd Mayweather, but Floyd Mayweather was about getting the bag. Floyd Mayweather was more about money. And he should, because every time you step in that ring, you might not make it out. Sugar Ray Robinson was known for killing somebody in the ring. Rocky Marciano was known for killing somebody in the ring. So boxing is no joke. Any type of combat sport, you have no guarantee. You have no guarantee to make it out. You know? So it should be about the best fighting the best. Shout out to Jason Bedard, Mayweather Protocol. Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with fighting for money, because boxing is not going to be forever. So you have to position yourself for life after boxing. Okay? That was a problem with Muhammad Ali. Ali had to fight, he had to keep fighting after he, won the title after George Foreman, because he needed money. The more money you make, you're going to keep upgrading your lifestyle. You're going to better your life. Money is all about bettering your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Mayweather is in my top 3. I have nothing against Mayweather. Is one of the best, if not the best, defensive fighter, of all time. Most people might argue and say that Pernell Whitaker is, but Mayweather mastered the art of hit and not be hit, and Mayweather also is undefeated. Now, I'll put both my hands up and say Mayweather did cherry pick his opponents to stay undefeated. He didn't fight Pacquiao in his prime. Once you lose as a fighter, and once you lose via knockout, okay, you're not the same. You're not the same. That's like, shout out to just like me and Jason Bernard, we fight, okay, 10 years after we were in our prime. Me and Jason Bedard, we could afford 10 years earlier when we was in our prime, but we didn't fight until 10 years later. We both, shells of our former self. Back, when my grandfather passed away when he was 93 years old. He was born in 1928. There was only one championship belt. It was only one championship belt. It was a small belt. It wasn't really nothing to look at. When that one belt represented that you was the champion of the world. That's what that one belt represented. Okay? And a lot of fighters were focused on being the best. They weren't focused on money. Now, my personal opinion, you should focus on being the best so you can get the money. And when it's all said and done, this is why my second favorite fighter of all time, Bernard Hopkins, I listened to his interview on the Art of War. Andre Ward, to me, is the best technical fighter of all time. And a technical style is a born style. You're constantly adjusting, In training camp, you might be, training to catch them with the hook, but they might be a sucker for the jab. They might be a sucker for the cross. They might be a sucker for the uppercut. See, a technical fighter is always adjusting. They're a master adjuster. They're able to move in the moment. Okay, we train to go to the body. Okay, but we, in the ring, they might be soft in the nose. They might be soft in the jaw. They might be soft on the forehead. Yes, we train, okay, to go to the body, but they probably used to going to the body. See, a technical fighter knows how to adjust in the moment. Nothing against being strategic. You got to have a game plan, but you won't know if that game plan is foolproof until you get in there. Jason Bedard, Mayweather broke the code. Tyson was a monster and blew his bag. Muhammad was a genius. Um, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson lived, breathed boxing from a teenager. Mike Tyson had the best coach of all time in the late Constantine Customato. You know, Customato was old school to the point where you had to live with him. If you wanted to be champion, you had to live with him. You didn't have your own residence. You had to live with him. You know, you lived, breathed, and ate boxing. So it wasn't a surprise that Mike Tyson was a monster because that was his life from the age of 13, 14 to when he became heavyweight champion at 20. And, you know, he blew his money because he didn't know how to act. He had the discipline to be a fighter, but he didn't have the discipline to be a man. And that wasn't his fault. And he said, I've watched so many documentaries on Mike Tyson. And I plan on reading his autobiography as well. Okay? And Mike Tyson didn't know how to act, you know? And he sacrificed for years. He sacrificed for years, so when he finally became champion, you know, he was able to, you know, refrain from, you know, certain dieting, certain lifestyles that he was accustomed to since a teenager. He got a chance to enjoy the fruits of his labor, you know? And I don't blame him for that, you know? And once Customato died, he no longer had somebody over him to keep him focused. He had Don King, you know, his promoter. You know, he had his trainers. And, you know, once he became champion, you couldn't tell him nothing. He was king of the hill. You know? You know? Jason Bedard, I saw an interview when he said if it wasn't for boxing, he would be a criminal. Yeah, that's the I think you're talking about the Cameron Mace podcast interview. You know, a lot of guys, boxing was their way out. But Bernard Hopkins, you know, I listened to the interview. Make sure you check out the Art Award. Make sure you check out that interview. Okay, the Art Award. He said if it wasn't for the boxing program in prison, he wouldn't be sitting there talking to Andre Ward. Bernard Hopkins is my second favorite fighter. Roy Jones is my favorite. Floyd is my third. Tyson is my fourth, and Ali is my fifth. And back to Jason Bedard's comment earlier, which was Muhammad Ali was a genius. Ali had the Nation of Islam, so he wasn't going to get cheated. And see, what people don't know about Bob Arum was, that was Bob Arum's coming out party. The Rumble in the Jungle, which is my favorite fight of all time, that's what put Bob Arum on the map. And that's what put Don King on the map. That was the first big fight under Don King and Bob Arum. And I believe that was the start of Top Rank promotion. You know, you might not like Don King, but you gotta respect him for what he's accomplished as a African American promoter and manager. I'm not saying that I agree with his methods. I'm not saying that he didn't, he didn't cheat people, but I respect the fact that he was an African American that was able to become one of the top promoters in the sport, and he's still doing it. You know, I mean, a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people don't like Don King, but I respect what he's accomplished. And that's what the business of boxing was, and that's what it still is. You are what you sign. This is why I have so much respect for Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins said it himself. I'm the one with the busted lip. I'm the one with the black eye. I'm the one that soaking in the tub. Where my money at? Why I got the short end of the stick? You know? Take care of the fighter first. Check out the Art Award Bernard Hopkins interview. Bernard Hopkins I'm a Philly native. I'm from Philadelphia. This is a Philadelphia park. And Philly is known for boxing. I went to my first fight in 2024. Check out I have content I went to 3 fights in 2024 on my channel. On my YouTube channel, I have 3 fights that I went to. I have footage from me being at those fights. Make sure y'all check them out. I'm a boxing buff. I got the receipts. I got the footage. I went to both Boots Enos fights that was in Philadelphia last year, and I went to the Bravehearts fight, a Gilly the Kid promotion at the Met on Broad Street. Okay, so I'm a boxing fan. I got the receipts in my archives to show that I'm a boxing fan. Shout out to Jason Bernard, man. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the participation. East Coast beat. Yeah, Philly is tough. Philly is tough. Philly is tough. Philly is a tough place. But as long as you carry yourself with an aura, you carry yourself with an aura. I just did on my channel not too long ago. My journey. I'm on day 1 of semen retention, 1 of 365 days. So make sure you check that out. Let's see. Mass isn't that bad though. I don't understand what you're talking about, Jason Bedard. I don't understand that. You're gonna have to clarify what mass isn't bad though. Are you talking about boxing or are you talking about physique? Okay, all right, Massachusetts. Okay, but I've never been to Boston, Massachusetts. My favorite music group is from Massachusetts, New Edition. One of my favorite singers, Bobby Brown, was from Boston, Massachusetts. The whole New Edition group is from Boston, Massachusetts. And one of my favorite singers, Bobby Brown, is from Boston, Massachusetts. Let me see, toughness. Yeah, man, I mean, elaborate on that toughness, Jason. Elaborate on that. And I encourage you, Jason, subscribe to my channel, man. Subscribe to my channel. And thank you for the feedback. Elaborate on toughness. I don't know what you mean by toughness. I think are you talking about boxing? Or are you talking about Boston? Or are you talking about Philly? What you talking about, man? But in regards to boxing, in regards to toughness, I believe in mental toughness. I believe more so in mental toughness. And this is what Bernard Hopkins talked about in his interview with Andre Ward on the Art Award. I'm about mental toughness. I'm more about having a mind of steel. I'm all about having a steel mind. And I got this from Bernard Hopkins. Nobody will be able to defeat me mentally. I'm undefeated mentally. Okay? I'm Rocky Marciano mentally. I'm Floyd Mayweather mentally. I'm Joe Kazakli mentally. I'm Andre Ward mentally. Nobody will ever be able to defeat me mentally. You might get me with these, but you'll never get me with these. You know, you'll never get me with these. You know, I'm a mental person. I'm a chess player. You know, I'm a chess player. You'll never be able to get, and I encourage everybody to have a mind of steel. Don't let nobody beat you mentally. You know, shout out to Sean Gumby, you know, podcast with Soul. Make sure y'all check him out. He said this in one of his videos. You always on stage, you know, and I'm going to add to that. You always on stage. Don't let your enemy, your opposition, or competition defeat you. You always being watched, you know. Every loss is an experience. It's an experience. You know, it's a learning experience. Okay, sir, first time here, a thinker within a boxer is a very dangerous person. Exactly. It definitely is. Shout out to Sean Peabody. Shout out to you, man. Boxing is about thinking. I mean, being successful in life is about the mental. A lot of people, they got it here and they got it here, but they don't have it here, you know? Let me see, Ralph, peace and successful, brother. Have a great weekend. Shout out to, thank you, man. How was your week, brother? How was you? My week was good, man. My week was good. I mean, my week was an experience. It was an experience. I just started reading Psycho-Cybernetics. It's a book about building your self-image, and I'm learning to see everything as an experience. My life. My week was an experience. I'm grateful to be working. I'm grateful to be able to live and experience life. Let's see, Jason Bedard. I've never chatted before, but you got me. Hey man, you got to start somewhere. My first live I did on Juneteenth. Nobody commented. My second live, I got one comment, and this is my third. Hey man, okay, that's great, brother. Yes, sir, absolutely. Jason Bernard again. My pops always said, "Don't be sorry, be better." If that makes sense, of course, man. This is why I'm a fan of Donald Trump, because he don't apologize. And that's a part of being a man. The apology don't mean nothing. Your actions is the apology. What you do says I'm sorry. That's what matters. If you meant what you did, what you apologizing for? Stand as a man. Be a man. Don't be sorry because somebody wants you to be sorry. Don't apologize because you want to apologize. Just take responsibility. That's all. Just take responsibility. That's all you can do as a man, is take responsibility, and like you said, be better. Be better. As a man, you can't afford to make excuses. As a man, you can't afford to complain. As a man, you can't afford to get it wrong. As a man, take responsibility. Hey, if you made a mistake, hey, I take responsibility. It ain't gonna happen again. That's all you really can do. You can't really, do anything else. Sean Peabody. Make a lot of sense, Jason. Okay. Let me see. This rain is coming down, but I'm out here, man. This rain is an experience. Make sure y'all read Psycho-Cybernetics. I started today, and I've learned so much just from the introduction and the preference. But let me see. I like your view and perception, just like and sub, my friend. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate it. And tell other people about the channel. My purpose of my channel is for myself, to help myself, and to help you become the greatest version of yourself. In the words of Muhammad Ali, me, we. I thank you, man. I thank everybody, for just. I thank y'all for your feedback. I really do. I thank y'all for your feedback. And I've been on YouTube. This is my third year on YouTube. I started with one video a week. Then I started doing shorts, and now I'm doing my third live, you know. But back to the fight, you know, who y'all got? Who y'all got winning tonight? You know, for the last 10 to 15 minutes, I want to know who y'all got for the fight. Who y'all got for the fight? Who y'all got for the fight? I got Dubois winning by knockout from a body shot, TKO, or Usyk just surviving. We got Alexander Usyk, who is we got Usyk fighting. We got Usyk fighting Dubois for the undisputed title. That's the topic of this live. You know, that's the topic. That's the topic of this particular live. Alexander Usyk. Let me put my phone down because this rain is coming down. I'm experiencing this rain. I played baseball for 13 years, but I don't watch. I mean, if you like baseball, that's cool. That's cool. But the topic is about Usyk and Dubois too. Who y'all got? Who y'all got? Who y'all got? Who y'all got winning? Do y'all think Usyk is going to be successful again? Do y'all think that Dubois is going to pull off? I don't see it as an upset because he put him down with a body shot in the first round. So, do you see Dubois winning? Okay, okay. I want to give a special shout out to Jason Bedard. Thank you for the feedback and thank you for the participation, man. I really do, man. You know, I'm very humble right now because, you know, I always look forward to going live one day. When I first got on YouTube, you needed 1,000 subscribers to go live. Now you only need 50. So, you know, I'm just grateful for y'all. I'm grateful to be able to do a live. I got Usyk in this one. I'm calling around 5K. Okay, all right, Sean Peabody. Okay, man. Okay. I mean, you know, it makes sense. You know, Usyk. I like Usyk. I have nothing against Usyk. Nothing but respect for Usyk. You know, he's a very, you know, he works off the jab. He works off movement. He works off angles. I ain't got nothing but love for Usyk. That's a great prediction, you know, because if Dubois stays in the pocket and don't go to the body, he's a sitting duck for Usyk. I don't know enough about the fighters, but you got me looking. Hey man, check it out. You know, do your due diligence. His counters are great as well. Exactly. He's angling. He's angling. You know, when you angle, you could throw, and then the mechanics. You could turn this way. You want to angle. All this is open, but bam. This is designed to bring you in. Bernard Hopkins was great at that. Sugar Ray Robinson was great at that. Andre Ward, shoulder roll, Philly shell. You bounce it, counter. The sweet science, That's what it's about. That's exactly what it's about. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Usyk won. I'm going to be doing a post of Usyk Dubois 2 tomorrow. So, look for that. I encourage everybody that tuned into this live to check out my channel, subscribe. You won't be disappointed in my content because my content is designed to help you become the better version of yourself, to motivate you, to encourage you, to push you. My purpose in life is to help people become the greatest version of themselves. Sugar Ray Robinson, probably the best pound for pound ever. He's the perfect fighter. This guy can knock you out, punch him. This guy can knock you out punching backwards. Check out the documentary. I believe it's The Dark Side of Sugar Ray Robinson. Something Dark Side. That was the first documentary of Sugar Ray Robinson. This man can knock you out punching forward, knock you out going to the side, knock you out stepping backwards. Ali only took one compartment from Sugar Ray Robinson, and he took his outside fighting. Sugar Ray Robinson can fight you on the outside. He can fight you on the inside. He can brawl with you. He's technical. This guy will block like this. This was his style. He would move. He would move. Boom. He didn't have to hold the Philly shell. He didn't have to turn. He would catch it and turn. Sugar Ray Robinson is the perfect fighter. He is the perfect fighter. You know? Ty, hey, I remember you from the gay bar. How you been? I don't know what you talking about, Ty. You know, I'm strictly straight. You know, if you trolling, you know, you're gonna have to take that somewhere else. You know, if you trolling, you know. But I thank you for your commentary. Hey man, somebody gotta do commentary, you know. You know, somebody gotta do commentating, so you know. Somebody gotta do some commentating. If you trolling, man, you know, you could take that somewhere else. Cause, you know, it ain't nothing gay about me, and you know I'll never be gay. You know, shout out to all the people that are gay. Nothing against them. Live your life the way you want to live. Okay. Hey, I remember. Oh yeah. Okay. Get out of here, Ty. Get out of here. Take that somewhere else. But I thank you for your comment. Sean Peabody, Felix, another one of my favorite. Bernard. One of my favorite fights is Bernard versus Felix Trinidad. Never followed Felix Trinidad. My favorite fighter, my first time seeing Felix Trinidad was his fight against Roy Jones when they both did a comeback fight. But Felix had a nice left hook. You know, he had a nice left hook, you know. And he was in the pocket, you know, and Bernard was able to neutralize him because he took that left hook away. And Bernard Hopkins said he kept a ball up here, you know, to stay away from it. Check out the interview. I listened to it yesterday, you know. But Felix Trinidad was no joke. He was no joke. He was a great fighter. You know, I have nothing respect for Tito. A lot of people like Tito. My mother liked Tito. You know, he just had a great left hook, but he was predictable. You know, Bernard Hopkins was able to beat him mentally. He threw that flag down, got him mentally. You know, so I like Tito. I've watched a couple of his fights. I believe that Don King wanted him. That was Don King's fighter, and I believe the 4-man undisputed tournament that Bernard Hopkins won was set up for Trinidad to win. You know. So yeah, Bernard Hopkins is my second favorite fighter. Bernard Hopkins is a combination. He's the closest thing to Sugar Ray Robinson from a technical perspective. Let's see. Jason Bernard, I hope this isn't stupid. What's your opinion on Fury allegations? What is the allegations about Fury? I think Fury is one of the best outside Caucasian fighters of all time. Jason, what is the allegations? Do you believe there is a difference between a fighter and a boxer? I think a fighter is a person. It comes from in here. It's personal. A fighter is a person that uses boxing as a vessel to become successful, if that makes sense. Okay? A fighter is based off of skill, but to be a good fighter, I think you should have a combination of both. Jason, I heard a lot about cheating. I wouldn't put it past Tyson Fury's cheat. You know, he had a big beard going into the second fight with Usyk. you know. But he's a great fighter. He has a great fighter. Um, Example of a difference between a boxer and a fighter. A fighter is a person that's going to be there all night. Chavez was a fighter. No, the best example of a fighter, Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano. Most of his fights, he was losing on points. Rocky Marciano, which is the only one of the three undefeated kings. Actually, the four undefeated kings. The four undefeated kings is Rocky Marciano, Mayweather, Joe Kawasaki, and Andre Ward. You know. Yeah, a boxer, a fighter gonna be there all night. It's coming from within. You know, it's not more skill. It's from within. It's about the heart. A boxer is about skill. Sean Peabody, what do you mean by I would? Oh, okay, you would agree with that. Okay, thank you. Okay, I especially his win over Jersey Joe Walker. Yeah, man. You know what? You got me wanting to watch Rocky Marciano. I watched the movie. You know, a boxer is a student of fighting, can fight anywhere with with whatever reason. You know, I think yes, I think I agree with that. A fighter has a lot going on in here. Mike Tyson had a lot going on. I think Mike Tyson was a combination of both. He was a combination of a fighter and a boxer because he mastered the Philly shell. You know, okay. He mastered the Philly shell. You know. Yeah. I could you know, I'm gonna give you a quote from the Rocky series, which is my favorite series. You got to know what you're fighting for. Rocky knew what he was fighting for every time he went in the ring. And when he lost to Clubber Lang in the third movie, he was a celebrity. He wasn't focused. Okay. Mike Tyson is another great example. Yeah, I just got from talking about him. That is my opinion. They are my opinion. Listen, you know, yeah, Mike Tyson is one of my top five. He's one of my top five. The peekaboo style, I don't think that style would be crucial. I mean, not crucial. I don't think that style would be good for me. But if I'm in close quarters fighting a person, turn my hands in, I get more rotation, you know, on my punches, you know. Yeah, I don't know not one person that don't like Mike Tyson as a fighter. A lot of people didn't like him as a person. But I mean, we are who we are, you know, there's only one you know. He didn't have reach. Mike Tyson was a short fighter. That's why the peekaboo style was for him. He was more of an inside fighter, you know. He was more of an inside fighter. Yeah, he was short. You know, when you fight a person, you gotta size them up. If a person is shorter than me, I gotta come, you know, under. You know, I mean, my fault. If a person is shorter than me, I gotta use the jab to my advantage. I gotta use my height to my advantage. I gotta stay on the outside. I can measure and catch you. I can measure and uppercut. I can measure, go to the body. Larry Holmes is great at it. If I'm shorter than you, I gotta fight short. I gotta come under. I gotta chop that tree. I know I gotta go to the body, then to the head. You know? You know? Fighting is all about fighting according to your opponent. On the street, you gotta adjust to your. There is no one way to fight a person. Whether it's mentally, whether it's physically. There's no one way to fight a person. You know? Back to the originator topic. Got Usky at 5. Hey man, it's a great prediction. My final thoughts on this live stream. I got Dubois stopping Usky I'm going to predict one of my favorite numbers. I got him knocking him out in the 9th round. If he don't knock him out in the 9th round, Usyk is going to survive. He's going to go to the body. Okay? He's going to go to the body. Either Dubois is going to put him down, get him out of there by the 9th, or Usyk is going to survive to the 12th, or Dubois is going to knock him down multiple times. Okay? Thank y'all for y'all feedback. Thank y'all for your participation. Thank the 3 viewers that's watching right now. Thank the 4 likes. And until next time, this was a good one. You know, I think I'm going to have to start doing more boxing lives along with my other content. I cover a lot of things. You know, I'm a balanced content creator. You know, I don't focus just on one thing. I focus on multiple things. I thank y'all for subscribe. I thank y'all for tuning in. Check out my channel. Subscribe to my channel. You won't be disappointed. We, we are out. We are out. We are out. Again, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Make sure y'all check out Usyk versus Dubois 2. Let me know, in the comment section what y'all think. And, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a post Usyk Dubois 2 video on my thoughts on the fight, whether my prediction was right or whether my prediction was wrong. Until then, enjoy your day, be safe, experience life, live a successful life, and continue to move forward in life. Thanks again. Thanks again. Thanks again.